Hi, everybody. I am Stitch Kitten, and even though we're late, we are. Actually, you know what? Us being late is a good segue into what I decided we're gonna do today, and that is make some resolutions that we may or may not keep. Because, the new year is coming up, and I figure even if we don't keep our resolutions, we can have some cute little drawings of cats keeping our resolutions because we have been having a lot of fun drawing the cats. They're fast and you guys like them and they're pretty cute. So, I'm gonna keep doing those today. And today I was thinking we could take probably like maybe excuse me, maybe a mixture of some really common resolutions that people make, or some of the resolutions you guys plan on making if you want some cat straw and doing you guys as resolutions. Or maybe I'll hide one or two of mine in there and you guys can see if you catch me bluffing on this is a really popular resolution. I want to stop leaving the hose on. Everybody leaves the hose on all the time, constantly. You know? No, just me. Okay, well, moving on. We are going to be doing some popular resolutions, like I said, but I don't. Uh, I have a guess. So let's guess. Let's guess at what we think are the top three most popular resolutions. And then I'm gonna Google it, and we're gonna take whatever the well, actually, I'm gonna search it. I need to stop saying Google it because I'm not actually using Google as my search engine anymore, for the record. But bye, Google. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure I'm gonna get like downvoted on all of the search engine optimization if I say that. I actually really love Google. I'm just kidding. Um, but we'll figure out what the top three resolutions are. Okay, so but let's guess first. Let's guess. Okay, so what we're gonna be like the most basic, and we're gonna kind of make the assumption that when I search, it's gonna pull up some statistics for people in the West, probably most likely people in the U.S. Um, and just because that's where I'm at, so I'm assuming my search engine is just gonna pull that up. And uh, keeping that in mind, I think the most common resolution that people make, that I hear people say, and also probably the most common one that nobody ever frickin' does, including me. I have made this one and not done it a couple of times. Um, is losing weight. I think number one resolution for literally everyone is going to be losing weight. And here we'll write down the guesses so that people know I'm not cheating. Here, I'll put them over here on the side. Number one, lose weight. All right, we're gonna put it down here on the side. Ah, okay. And you guys can chuckle at that now, but TLDR, I have stomach problems, and that's why I'm skinny now, but I used to weigh like twice this much. Um, like, and by used to, I mean like 3 years ago, I weighed twice this much. So, yeah, no, losing weight is a big deal in the US. Um, yeah, no, I only lost weight because I got sick, so I think that's probably a big one for people, and also a big one that nobody keeps. Not that that is part of the prompts today, but I think that I just wanted to tack that on to be petty, I guess. Sorry, guys. It's just me being a little bit spiteful, I think. There's nothing real there to do with our prompts. So let's move on. Uh number 2. Let's see. What do we think number 2 is? Um All right, we already have losing weight. So something that goes along with that I think is a really common resolution that lots of people make um is lots of people I think say they're going to go to the gym. Lots of people say they're going to go to the gym for New Year's. Okay? Um I don't know if it's enough people for it to be number 2, but I feel like I can't think of another one that would be number 2, and I definitely hear lots of people say they're gonna go to the gym. Um, I also heard that like gym memberships actually cost less around the New Year's because so many people sign up for them, like as a resolution to go to the gym, and then lots of people don't go, so then they just make money off gym memberships. But yeah, okay. I think number 2 is gonna be go to the gym. All right. Number 3. What's number 3? Um, hmm. Okay. So, we have two very health focused ones, and I feel like people do get very health focused about their resolutions because of like probably like a year passing brings up like mortality and people feel bad about being old and dying and stuff like that, right? So we could keep going on that thread, but there are also things like, people make like resolutions to be more on time or things like that. So I think these are really the big ones that I hear. Um, I'm trying to crowdsource information from my brain. What would be another really popular resolution? I used to hear lots of people say they were gonna read more, but I feel like audiobooks and like online articles and stuff are so popular now, I don't really hear that one so much. Um, because I mean, like, most print media you can read online or listen to now. There's very little need to pick up an actual printed book if you want to just like consume the information and you don't care about the activity of reading. Um hmm. If you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and shout them out. I'm just thinking. Uh and I'm sorry, I still sound sick. I am still a little sick. I was a little worried earlier this week I was gonna have to cancel on you guys and some other people because yeah, I think maybe everybody at my house got the flu or something. We all had like nasty little sinus headache cold things for like the last week or something. We're on the mend now, but yeah, rough stuff. But yeah, sorry if I keep clearing my throat and I sound a little gravelly. Um, that is why. Hmm, maybe people say they're gonna go to the doctor for days? No, okay. I feel like that's got to be a popular one, but probably not number three. Because not enough people, because too many people already go to the doctor or don't care. I feel like not enough new, there's not enough intersection there that people would continually make resolutions to go to the doctor and then not go, you know? So that there would be more people to have the same resolution. Hmm. uh, you know what? Okay. I think this might be number three just because I'm gonna make it like a really big, broad category, and we'll see what the search results say anyway. Um, and that is, I think that number three is gonna be that people resolve to learn a new hobby or skill, right? Because lots of people resolve to learn something. You know what? I'm just gonna say to learn something new. I think lots of people resolve to learn a new thing, whether that thing be like, I'm gonna learn how to knit or how to read better or how to be nice to people or I'm gonna learn how to play this card game, stuff like that. I feel like lots of people resolve to add things to their lives or routines or skill sets. So I'm gonna put learn new things as number three. All right. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? It only says learned anew, but close enough. Um, you guys get the gist. It says learn a new thing on my end. I swear, it just didn't tracking dot the little page side because you know I didn't think about it. That's it. I just didn't think about it. But now we can look it up and find out what actually are the most common solutions for New Year's. Alright, alright, alright. So, we have a chart um by Statista. What is Statista? Uh, okay. So this is um a random survey sampling. So it says that there were 1,000 people that they surveyed between 18 and 80 uh over the course of like the last few months. So this is pretty recent data. So this is pretty good. This is a good little chart if this is correct. Decent cute little sampling. Um for some reason, I think the description must be a, an old like alt text from the chart that was here before because the URL says 2019 chart and then the description says 2022 chart, but the little fine text at the bottom of this chart that I'm looking at definitely says for 2024 and the stats definitely say for 2025 resolutions. So I think a little bit of an update website fail there, but I'm pretty sure the data is still good. Uh, we'll take it with a grain of salt. It's resolutions anyway. However, we did get uh out of the top, how many are here? Out of the top 6, 2 of our answers are there. Neither of them are the top results, so we didn't guess any of the top 3. So we can do a little like womp womp for that. But well, okay, one of ours is kind of the top 3. The one I'm considering, but it's not yet. Neither of them are top 2. And our third one, learn new things, is not in here at all. So, I guess people people are not resolved to that form of self-improvement this particular year, which I guess is fair. It's been a rough one. If everybody is not hopeful and resolved to uh hike their bootstraps or whatever the frick people will say on the grind set things, like I am more than okay with supporting other types of self-improvement, but yeah, it seems like learning new things was not a common resolution for US adults. What was the top resolution was to save more money. Um, which, ouch. My heart hurts a little bit on that one because I I don't I'm there are so many ways in which I'm sure that is mostly not people's fault that they are feeling like that is a big common thread that they should all be saving more money. I personally have some money saved, but that is because I'm not just like good with my money. I'm like when I'm if I ever become like financially stable to the point where I could just have disposable income that I spend on like frivolous nonsense, um I probably still would like not have clothes that are updated and would fix things when they're broken, even when it's probably much easier to just get new ones, because I'm just I have this little thing beaten into me uh from probably mostly social indoctrination. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to smack you guys on the microphone there. Um where I just feel like money is important and spending money bad, and so I just don't buy things like hardly ever. Like I'm gonna show off a little bit right now, because I wanted to show you guys this anyway. I wanted to get one of those little like holders for your your game controller. Uh but they're like $20 or something. It's a little bit of money for like a piece of plastic. I was like, nah, I don't really want to buy one. But what I did do is I made this little guy. Uh I don't know if you can tell, but he's supposed to be the little astronaut mascot. And then he sits on top of my pencil sharpener, and my controller just whoops. It works better when it's flat, but yeah, my controller just sits up here like this. And yeah, it works so good actually when it's not being held in the air by me. But yeah, so I I definitely don't need to save money, but my point is I do see unfortunately, where that is coming from, but it wouldn't have been something I thought about. Uh so let's write up above these ones what the actual answers are. So actual answer 1 was save money. And maybe since I have some kind of I do have some actual tips on that one. If you guys want any, I can. I mean, I'm not like a I don't have like a lot of money. I'm not like a money influencer or nothing. I'm not going to be showing off my branded things, but I can I can give you some really basic tips on just like easy ways that you can help yourself spend less money. If you guys are interested in that when we're doing the drawing for that one, cuz if that's that important to people this year, which I understand, and I can give you guys like some basic things that I do to that aren't just like, not have clothes that fit me, or you know things that are me being a little bit silly. uh because I certainly have enough money to buy some new clothes. I just don't want to. uh let's see. But second one is to eat healthier, which I actually totally love that one, because that one was my resolution, not this year, but a couple of years ago when my stomach stuff started getting pretty bad. I made that one of my resolutions because I just thought I had like IBS or something, and like I could just eat better. I really thought that I could eat better and exercise it away, and it would be fine. Um because I thought I just had like indigestion or something. I really didn't think it was a big thing like it ended up being. Um but that is a good one. Uh Again, I I can give some tips on that one too, cuz I have gotten to a spot where I feel pretty cozy on both of those things for myself. Thankfully, I feel really lucky to be in a spot where I have worked a lot on those, and I get to feel good about them now, because yeah, those are some rough points. And yeah, if you guys want some tips on eating healthier, especially here in the US where that really sucks, I can totally give you guys like a couple of tips on that too. Um that one is going to be a little bit of a do what I say and not what I do situation, because I'm sure there are still plenty of days where I do not eat enough like different things. I'm sure there are plenty of days where I eat cheese and pasta and that is it. But I'm also I also don't have any intolerance to gluten or cheese, which I know through rigorous testing, thankfully. So, those are not problematic foods for me. They're just not necessarily nutritious either. I mean, I get pretty good cheese, so cheese is okay, and my pasta's not bad either. I get like pasta that was fresh and then is freeze dried. Uh I think it's freeze dried. It might be dehydrated. I don't remember. One of the two. It's it's fresh and then the liquid is removed somehow, and then it is packaged and sent to me from Italy, sent to the grocery store where I buy it. Um, it's pretty yummy, uh, and it's not that much money, especially just compared to what regular frickin' noodles cost anyway now. Like everything is so expensive. Anyway, yeah, we can do some basic tips on both of those cuz I feel really good about the way that I eat and the way that I have my money situation set up. So, if you guys can benefit from any of my security there, I will totally help you out. And yeah, and we'll have to do the third one and then start drawing because I have been kind of just sitting here talking with you guys for a while now. Hopefully, you don't mind too much, but we will get started on the art here soon. Because we only have one more left to say anything about, and that is the only one that we kind of got right out of these three. Um, which is that number 3 on their list and number 2 on our list is to exercise more. Or I said go to the gym, but that was, kind of the same thing. Exercise more is more general, so I guess that was uh probably a better category to guess, but so we'll get like a half star on that one. But cuz ours is in the wrong place anyway, so we get half a point. It's kind of what we guessed. Exercise more. I'm just gonna write exercise. And I'm gonna look at the page so I don't spell that wrong, because that would be a little bit embarrassing and silly of me if I was literally staring at the word and still spelled it incorrectly. I'm sure everybody would tease me for that one, but that's fine. Alright, and then uh lose weight on their list was number 4. So, uh, was not quite as important to people this year as other years, which, I actually really like because saving money and eating healthier and exercising, I think eating healthier and exercising 100% should be more important to you than what you actually weigh or look like. And I am actually I'm a little bit stunned in a good way that it is reflected here that people are appreciating health over body image. Um yeah. No, that's so nice, guys. I appreciate that. Um yeah, and then the other resolutions that they have, cuz I said they have, oh, I think it's 8. I thought it was 6, but I can't count. It's 8. So I already said their top 4, and I'll just read off the other ones real quick. The other ones that they have here are to spend more time with family and friends, to quit smoking, to reduce spendings on living expenses, and the last one is people not making a resolution. And that was actually the largest responding category, which also I think is really fair because I think that while resolutions are a really great way to motivate yourself into doing something you need to do or into starting things if you're a kind of person that needs like a starting push for things. um but I also think that if you are making a resolution at one point in the year and you're not working on whatever that is the rest of the year, it quickly becomes really easy to make a big resolution that you have absolutely no intention of keeping, and just to feel all of the positive emotions from thinking and tricking yourself that you're gonna start something without actually having any intention of doing that. And I think that that is a little bit sad. So I think if you know that you're not going to keep a resolution, you shouldn't make one. And I think that that's totally fair. Uh because you shouldn't give yourself an excuse to feel bad about not doing something you were already not doing. Like, if you aren't doing it right now, there's clearly a reason you're not doing it right now. And even if it's not a good reason, there is probably still a reason. So, if you start beating yourself up about the fact that you haven't already done it, there is absolutely no chance that you are going to start. And I think lots of people will will kick themselves before they've even gotten out the gate on that one. Like, they will just not even start because they are beating themselves up about starting. So, if you don't want to make a resolution because you don't think you're going to keep it and you don't want to give yourself reasons to feel bad about not keeping it, just don't. I think that that is a totally fair response also. Uh I don't think I have a specific resolution this year just because I have been in I've been in a cute little therapy group in real life that I appreciate really a lot, and I'm not gonna say anything else about because I appreciate it a lot and there's lots of confidentiality stuff. Um but I will say that I, because of that, kind of make little resolutions for myself that are just like personal self improvement goals, and I just work on them a little bit, um, and then I make a new one. So I probably am not going to make a New Year's resolution just because I kind of make New Year's resolutions for myself all the time. Uh, I I am one of those people that enjoys improving themselves to the point that it annoys the others around me, and I know that that's gonna make some of you cringe a little bit, so I'm sorry if you thought that my messy room was an indication of me enjoying being a trash goblin, but it's just brain disorders. Sorry guys. The burst bubble is all over the place. Murdered on the floor in video games. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling at you guys now, and we can start drawing. Um, and I think maybe what we'll do, uh, you know what, guys? Since we didn't actually get any of them right, like 100%, like none of them are the thing that we guessed. Uh, I could put well, the thing that I guessed. You guys didn't make any guesses, but I could put the things that are actually the resolutions and the things that I guessed were the resolutions into like a little scene, I think, where the actual resolution that that people said is like a little cat trying to do the resolution still, and the one that I have guessed is the one that has already given up on their resolution. Do some cute little self-destructive cat scenes. I think that sounds cute. Um, so the first one is then gonna be one cat trying to save money and one cat who is failing to lose weight. I think that'll be cute. Um, and then oof, I'm gonna stretch here because I'm freaking old. A whole other year has gone by. aging has taken months and months more toll on my spine. Actually, I'm gonna sit on my knees. Excuse me. While I wiggle around on the freaking camera. I'm gonna move my camera up a little bit because now I'm too low. Okay. Uh, so we have cat saving money and cat failing to lose weight. So maybe we'll have maybe we'll have one cat who is doing some little bookkeeping, uh looks nervous and frustrated, and one cat who is keyboard slamming and ordering fish online. That sounds good. I think that's gonna be that sounds cute. Uh if I can make the framing look not terrible, but I think I could do that. Uh and for this one, I said I would give you guys some tips on how to save money. So, uh I'm gonna block out some cats and I'm just looking up references. Oh, and I'm sorry, I notice I keep like putting my lip I keep like sucking in my lip because I bit it really really freaking bad when I was sick, and because I bit it when I was sick, it swelled like a lot more than normal, and because it swelled more than normal, I bit it a lot. And yeah, the inside of my lip right there looks pretty nasty and hurts. Sorry if I talk a little funny or you guys notice me playing with it. Man, my face is all sorts of beat up for you guys right now. I'm sorry. Usually I'm so pretty. I'm kind of teasing, but I do acknowledge that I'm usually mostly attractive, except for, yeah. Now I got a thing on my lip and my cat scratched my face. It's still not quite gone, but it's getting there. I expected that to fade a lot faster than it did, but it is on my face, so fair enough. Alright. I think I'm gonna have one cat who's kind of here with a big old, like a ledger, you know? Uh, if you don't know, a ledger is just like a big book that you write in. So it's just like one of those big hardcover notebooks that has like lines in it usually or some sort of grid system for specific things. But yeah. Uh, big book, basically. Big book for writing. And we'll have Cat sitting here staring at the numbers. Whoops, now I'm too far down. Sorry, I stopped sitting on my knees, so now I'm fixing the camera again. Okay, good enough. So we'll have one cat. He's sitting here. He's pondering. He's thinking real hard over how in the heck they get out of this financial situation. And maybe we'll just have some little question marks. Maybe a cog or something. Like a gear. A cog is another word for a gear. Because English is silly. He's thinking really, really hard. Maybe we'll give him some big square glasses. Does he look very focused on the books? I think he looks very focused on the books. Oh, and I, I'm like completely done blocking this guy, and I didn't give you guys like any tips yet. Okay, well we can start drawing the other guy, doing some online shopping, and I'll remember to give you guys some tips this time. Alright, so let me pull up some more references here. Okay. Alright, let me start blocking this and then I will start talking to you guys about it. Alright, so I think one of the big things that I will hear about saving money that is definitely something I am guilty of. Like I said, I'm really not good about buying stuff for myself, but um I think one of the big things about saving money is that if you don't have enough money for the things that you need, saving money is not going to suddenly give you enough money for the things that you need. And uh if you and that means that you either have to need less things, which can lead to some very sad and unfortunate situations, or you need to find better ways to support those things. And that can also be sad and unfortunate. And uh I think that money, especially in the US, is really tough for everybody right now, unless you have somebody who has money from the before times, before money was so rough, and is coasting and willing to give you some of it. uh I think it's really difficult for anybody that actually is getting their money out of the US economy right now and supporting themselves with it. uh and myself included, I think that it's important to acknowledge what your means are and whether or not you have enough of them for your current situation. Um, I think that that is a big misconception about saving money, that like you can save enough money to, because certainly you can save enough money for a purchase, right? You can save enough money for a car. You can save enough money for a house if you want to save enough money for those things. But if you save money for those things, then you still have to pay for maintenance on those things. You still have to pay for taxes on those things. You still have to pay for associated costs with those things. And those individual things are not necessarily going to, I mean, if it's a house, it probably will improve things for you. Like, I'm not saying having a house is bad, but I'm also saying that, you know, being able to save for individual purchases is not necessarily going to create better living situations for you overall, is my point. If it's like important things like a house, I should that was a bad example. A house is super, houses are important. um people should be able to have more of those. That was a really really bad example. I'm sorry for using that. Not houses, literally anything else. Like if you want to, you can certainly save to go to uh a year of college. That was a better example. But uh being able to uh yeah, being able to afford all of the associated costs of that year of college and being able to afford continuing after that year and being able to afford using your networking to actually get a job worthy of that degree after the fact when you are fresh out of college with no money and need some. Uh, like, saving money all by itself is not going to significantly uh change your financial situation unless you have a spending problem, is my point. If you have a spending problem, then you already know how to save your money because you know what you are spending. Uh, and if you don't know what you're spending, probably you have uh, a cute little card that you just hand to people, and that's why you don't know what you're spending. But your bank definitely does. Whatever cute little card you hand to people has a record for you to look at somewhere. And that means you personally can go and look at all of the spending that you do. And that is my second big tip is actually look at the things that you buy. If you are interested in saving money, my second big freaking tip besides that saving money all by itself does not dramatically uh does not dramatically change your living situation um unless you have a spending problem or some other, issue where saving money was not a thing that you were capable of doing and now you are, right? Like if you I'm just saying like saving money as a concept does not make more money appear. And some people will act like it will and it doesn't. No matter how much money you save, you still have the same expenses whether or not that money is going to them. Right? So, if you have more expenses than you have money coming in, saving money is not going to help you with that. That is the whole point. And then the second big tip is that if you do have more money coming in than you have expenses and you somehow still have no money and you're not sure how, your bank will tell you. Your bank will literally tell you what it is that you spend so much money on. You can go and some banks even have like spending reports now. Like they will literally put an entire chart up on your page for you and you don't even have to calculate anything about like which types of things you spend money on. Like if you spend lots of money eating out, or if you spend lots of money online shopping, or if you spend lots of money at the casino or something, if you spend lots of money at your local liquor store. Or my my bank in college informed me I had suddenly spent hundreds of dollars at my local art supply store in the last couple of months. And what was the deal with that? And the deal with that was they had a really good sale on Copic markers, and I decided for a few months of college that I would buy some of those on the weekends as like a reward for myself, and it was an expensive reward. Um, so your bank will tell you. Your bank will tell you if you're spending a lot of money on silly things and you don't realize it. And it's really a lot easier than people realize to just go on there and look through all of the little purchases, and they usually will have some sort of tag, and maybe it's not totally clear exactly what it is right off the bat. But if you think about, like, if you go back and you think about what it was that you bought on that day, they'll usually have dates for the purchases. Just think about, like, okay, what did I do on that day? What would I have bought? Stuff like that. And usually after after you've done that a little bit, you will have the same kinds of purchases, right? So you will know which things line up with which purchases that you made. So, second big tip, look at the money that you're actually spending, because so many people just don't even know like how much money they need to survive, or how much money they need, or how much money they have coming in. They just go, okay, I have some money right now. Okay, I need some money later. And if that's all you have space for, that's totally better than not thinking about it at all. So please do not get overwhelmed by me saying I think that people should know lots of numbers and stats about their income or whatever, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you personally have the space to be thinking about uh saving money, then you probably have the space to go and just look at what you're already spending money on. And I think that that is a big first step before you go and like cancel a bunch of your subscriptions, or decide you're not going to get coffee in the morning, or whatever the heck else. I think that you should go and see, is that coffee in the morning actually hurting you? Is it expensive enough that that is problematic? If so, yeah, maybe don't drink a $17 coffee every morning. But that's that's one thing. Uh if you go on there and realize that your $120 once a year subscription to Netflix, or whatever ridiculous, I'm sure it's way more than that now, whatever Netflix costs is crazy. I do not pay for our Netflix, thankfully, for me. Excuse me. Uh but yeah, whatever Netflix costs now. I think that you probably will find that a lot of the time it's less stuff like that, and more just like you don't realize how much money you are spending on groceries, or you don't real because you like go to Trader Joe's and buy one specific brand of cereal, and you don't realize that that $20 that you spend 3 times a month is actually like really hurting you way more than your coffee or your Netflix subscription. Um, or like if you, some people will not realize. I think one of the big ones is that I will keep receipts when I go to the grocery store, and then I will like price check stuff myself with receipts that I have, because if you look online at stores, and lots of people, I know lots of people know this already, but if you look online at stores, um lots of people have noticed that the online pricing on stores is not usually reflective of the in-store pricing, even for in-store products. And also, I have noticed that sometimes there will be things that you really expect to be cheaper that aren't. Like sometimes you will expect a generic brand product to be cheaper and it won't be. Or sometimes you will expect like a package of 3 things to be cheaper than than buying 3 individual things, and it won't be. And I think that having grocery receipts, so that you don't have to be paying attention to all of that in real time, is really helpful for me. If you are a pay attention to everything in real time type of person, I might suggest like keeping maybe like a quick list of like some really common things that you think you might be able to optimize, right? Like for a long time I noticed that we were spending a lot of money on toiletries at Walmart, and I wanted to figure out how to spend less money on toiletries at Walmart, and the solution was to not shop at Walmart. Uh and to go and buy toiletries at Costco. But then also, I thought maybe I could buy some generic toiletries at Costco, and the generic toiletries were actually so much worse than the name brand toiletries that we used them up at a rate that was faster. Uh, it was so much faster that it would have actually cost us more money to use them than the name brand ones, just because they were way less effective. We used way more of them. And that was for like all of the paper products. I think except paper plates. I think I do still have generic brand paper plates, but everything else was like, yeah, just not worth it. Not worth taking a smaller hit for having to buy it as much at a much faster rate. Uh, it would have actually cost me more money. And I'm not saying everybody has to be as detailed as that, but I'm just saying like there are lots of available ways for you to pick one thing to focus on and just to see if you can cut off like a little bit of reasonable spending, as opposed to thinking of big grand things like I need a raise, or I need to buy a car and get a new job, and I need to stop drinking coffee in the morning because I don't have a coffee machine, and I want to go and buy $5 coffee at the local coffee house. Like there are things that you can purchase for yourself that are reasonable purchases. And sometimes, if it's things like a $5 coffee, it can feel really bad. But I think that going and looking at what your expenses actually are and knowing how much you actually need can be really helpful at knowing when it's okay to buy that $5 coffee, and knowing when it's okay to, have some extra expenses going to the casino, or buying some Trader Joe's cereal, or whatever the heck else it is that you do want to do. It's good to know that those things are within your means. And I think that just looking at the money that you're already spending is a good way to know whether or not that spending is within your means. And I think that keeping receipts and looking at your bank statements, because again, if you have a card of any kind, I am almost certain that unless that card comes from a very small rural bank, your bank has an online website, and your bank will tell you by individual purchases every single thing that you have bought with that card for probably at least 30 days, if not longer, depending on your bank. So just just go look. Literally just go look. Literally just I know it's rough, and it probably is not going to be fun, but neither is saving monies. And if you want to do it, I would not suggest making big grandiose gestures like cutting off your coffee supply, or destroying like your outlets like Netflix, because those seem like easy things to do, but they may not be the money that you're looking for one, and for two, just cutting off things that you enjoy for money is not necessarily going to improve your situation. So, you know, having numbers, getting the numbers is scary. Having the numbers is super powerful and super helpful. And if you have them, it is really, really nice. And so that you can know that your extra whatever spending on things that you enjoy is okay. Uh like I am not this is another do as I say and not what I do thing, because I am super bad at just like purchasing things for myself. But I do know that I have a certain amount of money I need to spend every month on rent and groceries and other expenses, and I know approximately what those numbers are. Obviously, things like groceries are not exact, and sometimes there are random extra expenses, and I like to try and just add some like little buffer cash nonsense in for that kind of thing. And then, if there aren't extra expenses or whatever, then I can just have that back um to my budgets. Uh because I think it's way better to have the extra money available if you need it, and then to feel good about not needing it than to not have it if you do need it. Uh let's see. Yeah, and I mean sometimes it really is just, I think my my third big money tip that I will share with you guys is less less direct and more conceptual than, you know, get your numbers and don't try to be living outside them. Uh which I guess is also kind of conceptual, but like those are actionable things. This one is a little less actionable. Um and uh that is that I do my very best to avoid something called boot taxing. And this is a concept from a book, and it references that during World War II, commanders made enough more than soldiers that typically a, a well a well-made pair of boots would be something that a commander could afford, um, but that a soldier could not, right? In a given pay period, basically. So while soldiers had to save money if they wanted to buy one of those nicer pairs of boots, uh, the officers, the officer, the commander, didn't have to save that money, and so often, if like one of the pairs of boots just broke sporadically or had some sort of issue that was unforeseen, right? The the officers could buy the pair of boots that was nicer with no warning, while the soldiers couldn't, right? And that meant that the soldiers were actually buying lower quality boots that wouldn't last as long as the higher quality boots. And because of that, they actually spent more money on boots over time because they were buying more pairs of lesser quality boots. And even though they cost less money, they were buying them more frequently enough that it cost more money overall. And so it's colloquially called boot taxing. I'm sure there's like an official economic term for it if that isn't the official economic term for it. Uh and um I am very literal about it. I buy some very nice shoes to avoid because I walk around a lot and I don't want to buy a $20 pair of Walmart shoes every month because I will wear them out that fast. And it that means that I would spend, over the course of 12 months like $200 on some crummy little Walmart shoes. Uh where I could spend $200 on a really nice pair of shoes one time at the beginning of the year and not have to buy shoes for like many years because if I buy a really nice pair of shoes, they are going to last me for many years, right? So instead of buying $20 Walmart shoes every month for 3 years and spending hundreds of dollars on shoes, I can spend a couple $100 at one time and not buy shoes for like the rest of the year if I don't want to. And I try to employ that I think in lots of my spending. One of the big things that I will do for that is I shop at Costco because there are enough people in my house that it is profitable for me to spend a little bit of money and then go buy things like toiletries and specifically milk. I probably I'm kind of doing a little quick maths in my head right now and I probably do spend my whole Costco membership less on just milk. Oh, there's a cat. Hi, Buffy. The Bubby. He's in the window. Oh, not quite yet. But but yeah, that is a really big one for me is just if I can find spaces that it is acceptable for me to spend a little bit more money at one point to spend a lot less money over time, those are like some of my favorite money saving spaces because those are usually the ones with a lot of unrealized benefits, right? There because it's just stuff that you're not thinking about like I got some bidets in my house, guys. And if you are like me and you're from the US, you're probably going, oh, Ewy, I don't want a bidet. A bidet is like weird and like you're gonna put water like on your butt. Like that's weird. Uh and I hear you. I get it. It was definitely adjustment. I have saved so much money on toilet paper, guys. So much money. Like, I buy toilet paper maybe 4 times a year. Like, I I probably with the three people in my house. Three people in my house, and I do go to the warehouse store. But there are three whole people, three whole adults, and I have stomach problems. And, an Aunt Flo who comes by once a month. So, uh Like we got we got plenty of reasons to use toilet paper. Uh but the bidets are so nice. They're so nice, guys. And mine were like $30 a piece, like 30 freedom dollars, and I installed them myself. I had never done any plumbing anything before. I put them in with absolutely no problems. Any problems that arose were because my toilets are a little bit old and the fixtures around them are a little bit tenuous to begin with. But that's their fault, not the bidets. Hi, thank you for the first time chatters. Those are always so nice. Uh Lavender the TV Queen. That's a fun name. But yeah, no, making sure that you don't get boot text and finding ways to save money, like in big spaces over time, like that is way better than finding ways to just like cut current spending. And I think one of the big ways that people uh don't realize that they can save a lot of money. Oh, that's very cool. I I'm trying to think if I have any like cute quick tips that aren't super obvious about new streams, but uh I don't know. I'm maybe not the person to ask. I feel like I'm pretty new myself even though I've been here a minute. I'm small, so that's probably why. But yeah, best of luck. Just be consistent about it. I'm sure that that's advice that you've heard. Um, we're just here drawing some cute little cats. I don't I don't know what that means, but I'm I'm thinking good luck. Probably. I don't know. I don't know if I should be wishing you good luck on that one. Um, let's see. What are some other ways I uh Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Well then, yeah, good luck. Best of luck, yeah. Uh I am certainly not the person to ask about that. I have like no freaking friends. I am very on the spectrum and people find me off-putting, I think, in real life. So, I am real not good at making friends. I'm too blunt. Uh I like probably just like these last 2 years have even figured out how talking to people is supposed to work. Like, because I'm taking a class. I'm literally taking a class on figuring out how to like be a human person. Like that's kind of the class, honestly. It's like interacting with others and dealing with your emotions and stuff. Like it's like a therapy thing. It's really nice, and I yeah, I probably am better at talking to people from just that than literally anything else because it is so helpful that I uh yeah, I would recommend DBT skills to like anybody who is struggling with interpersonal stuff, or like emotional regulation or any of that crap, like being a person in a meat suit. Cause oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love my DBT class. It's actually so good. Uh, and it has certainly helped me have like more real type conversations with people. Hey, mans. Maybe we'll have like a little drool coming down because he's salivating over the fish. It's going all right. It's going. Uh, we are drawing some cute little cats. Uh, Making and breaking New Year's resolutions, and then talking about saving money because apparently that is a big interest of people this year. Uh, which I happen to have some money that I have saved over time. So I was just given some insight on how I managed that as a person that doesn't have like outside financial support. Uh, because that is real rough here in the US. It's stinky that so many people are feeling that so hard. But hopefully some of that uh can help some of you guys, or maybe not, but hopefully it does something. I don't know. If you guys want to ask me about saving money or anything like that on my Reddit, I am totally willing. I mean, for the record, guys, am a whole adult, and also am a whole adult that does not have a lot of outside support. So if you are a whole adult that does not have a lot of outside support and you are interested in figuring out how to do stuff or like getting resources on how to do stuff, 100% go and bother me on the Reddit about it because I love so much being able to pay it forward and give it back and all of that crap. Uh, Being able to help other people feel good and secure about their crap makes me feel better about having my crap secure. So like if you want to come and steal some of my adulting knowledge, you go right ahead. Oh, thank you for the follow and for letting me know that my sounds are playing out of my computer. Lamau. My headset is, I guess, dead. It must have died at some point, and because I'm not listening to music, I didn't notice. So everybody gets to hear the echoey dopamine loop, but thank you, Lavender the TV Queen, for the follow and for letting everybody listen to the dopamine loop twice, since you guys got to listen to it through my microphone. Uh, I will plug in my headphones, so if by some miracle we get a second follow in the same stream, uh, nobody else will have to hear that again. Uh, but hopefully it wasn't too off-putting. Hopefully everybody still enjoyed the dopamine loop. the little astronaut boy. I want to come and update this space stuff that I have for the background and things. Because it is getting a little bit old. uh, I mean, not that it's not very cute, but also, you know, it's a little bit goofy and rushed together, and maybe we could have some nicer ones. And so if you guys have any suggestions about that, you can go and bother me on the subreddit about that too. Ah, nobody's bothered me on the subreddit. You guys should bother me about things. I don't even know if you guys are over there. Uh, I'm sure you are, because I've seen some random foot traffic, and I can't imagine I've gotten random foot traffic from just general Reddit. Who knows? Maybe I have. Hmm. And maybe we'll have just like a plate with some crumbs, like some candy wrappers or something. So you can really tell that this is not some fish that he needs to buy, you know. He just wants it. Um hmm. Maybe we'll have him thinking about like a whole stack of fish. Like a stack of pancakes, but fish. Any cat's bestest dream. It's cute. Oh, it's been alright. It's warmer out today than it has been. So I have the windows open, which is kind of nice. I haven't had the windows in my office open in a few days, week or so, something like that. Um, there was a cat, but I think he's run off someplace. Talking to you guys about resolutions and drawing these little cats has been fun though. And saving money and uh hopefully you guys get some useful information out of some of my ranting. My ranting and raving. I'm pretty sure there was a good tip or two in there somewhere. Uh, After this, I will probably end up kind of chilling and hanging around because I said this earlier on in the stream, but I am still a little bit sick. Uh, Everybody in my house got sick, I think, and I was the last one to get hit, so now I'm the last one to recover. I am the last one that still feels a little bit gross, uh, unfortunately for me. But everybody else is recovered, I think, for the most part, so hopefully that means I will also be recovered here very soon. Um, we all got the flu or something. I was worried we maybe caught the COVID stuffs, but nope, no COVID's here as far as we tested. So that's good. I have had COVID like 3 times, so yeah. I was gonna be upsetty if my immune system hadn't figured that one out yet. Uh, cause it has been rough for me the last couple of times. But it was probably just the flu or something. We all got very sinusy and very like, yeah, just like head cold stuff. It was not good. So I am on the mend. Uh, Sorry if I sound a little gravelly. I'm trying to not choke and cough so that it gets worse. Uh, or so that you guys have to listen to me choke and cough. What about you guys? Did you guys do some fun stuff for the holidays? I know there's still some holidays left, but I feel like a lot of them are wrapping up by now. I think Hanukkah started way later than I thought it did this year, so that one is still going on, but I don't know of any other ones besides New Year's that are left. Uh, I'm sure there are some, but I don't know any. So I'm uh so then, by my self-centric assumption, I'm assuming that that just means the rest don't exist, and clearly all of you guys are done with your holidays. So like, like, tell me about them. What'd you guys do? Did you do anything fun? Did you ruin Santa Claus for some young people? What was up with you guys? I didn't do a whole lot, so I feel like, let me live vicariously through y'all. What did y'all do? Some fun, surely. Surely you guys did something fun. Cuz I made gifts and that was fun for me, but like also it wasn't really like for me, it was like I made some gifts for other people. Uh and I mean, I appreciate that I made them and that they liked them, but like, you know, but yeah, uh now that you guys I told you guys I would tell you what I made for people after I gave them to them because I wanted you guys to hear about my cute little handcrafts. So I made some homemade Pokemon cards of me and my two cats. And when I say I made homemade Pokemon cards, I mean I used like I basically used it as an excuse to work on all of my home office skills, and I made like full from scratch cute little templated cards uh where I didn't use a template, but I like made a template by myself on a digital photo editor app on my iPad, and then I excuse me while I stretch, and then I drew a bunch of cute little details for the cards, and then I laminated them and put them in some cute little paper booster pack like cover things so that they could open them. They really liked them. I made those for both of my roomies, and they really liked those gifts. Um, so I'm really glad that those came out as well as they did. They really did come out like little tiny Pokemon cards. So uh yeah, that was really cool. And then for my cats, I made these corrugated cardboard spheres, which is where I got the idea for my controller holder. Um where I drew out a sphere and then I sliced it into layers basically on a piece of paper and measured how or a circle on a piece of paper for a sphere. Um and I measured like what I needed each of the layers to be in diameter so that I could have like a layered cardboard sphere. And then I cut it all out and hot glued it together and put some little like package style tied string around it, uh and made some cute little like scratcher balls for my cats, and they absolutely love those. um i I think they're a little bit big for them to want to play with them by themselves, so maybe I'll end up making some smaller ones. But if we like roll them around, they really enjoy them. And and yeah, so I think that was big success on all the Christmas presents that I made. Uh so I feel good about all of that. Um I made one for my mom uh and for my brother that were like little clay figurines. Um out of like some oven baked clay. I made my mom a little elephant and my brother a little rooster. Uh, and those are the only family that kind of like live around here. My sister, but I didn't have any plans to see her, and she didn't seem to reach out to me about it. So I'm sure she's busy and she's got tons of money, so she probably uh is just gonna toss any handmade craft that I give her anyway. So I yeah, didn't bother making her anything, but if she for some reason or another seems to feel left out, I'm sure I would make her something. I just don't think that she'll want anything that I make. And that's kind of one of my big things with homemade gifts is I think that if you're giving somebody something that you make, it should be something that you think that that person wants and not something that you just want to make them. Because I think that, like, lots of people will get really into hobbies and crafts, and it's so sweet that people get really into hobbies and crafts and want to share it with other people. But if you get really into hobbies and crafts and you make something for like every person that you know, the chances that every person that you know actually wants that thing are very small. Really, really small. And so I I feel like if you do that, then you are giving people obligation to keep things that they don't want. And I don't really like doing that. Um and I don't think that there is necessarily a problem with giving people random craft stuff that you make just because you think that they should have it. But like I also think that you should give it to them because you think that they would like it, and not just because it's a thing that you made and you should give it to them, which I think ends up being a lot of homemade gifts. Or like I love that my grandmother cross stitches these cute little Christmas cards every year, and uh I love them. I will keep them all for as many years as she can continue to send them to me, and I will appreciate every single one of them, and they will sit on my bookshelf and be beautiful little cards forever. uh and that's great for me. I'm sure that my uncle who receives those same cards does not want to keep every single crochet or cross-stitched card that my grandmother has sent him over his 50-year lifespan. Like, he, I'm sure, has plenty of those cards that quietly make their way into the bin after a few weeks of it sitting about. Even though they are painstaking effort for my grandmother to make. And I'm sure would be really sad if she thought if she thought about the fact that, you know, my uncle probably does kind of quietly move some of those to the bin after a month or so, you know? Uh that would probably be really sad for her to think about. So I think that, making sure if you are giving out big pieces of effort like that, that you should make sure that the effort is going to be appreciated. Because if you're just giving out a bunch of effort, like you're giving out a bunch of big projects to people that aren't going to appreciate them, that maybe are going to put them in the bin, that don't actually want the things that you're making, you're just going to make you feel bad. Like, you're going to make them feel bad because they're going to feel like you don't care enough about them to get them something that they want. They're going to feel bad because they're going to feel like you aren't thinking about them with their gift. And then you're going to feel bad because you're going to think, oh, I made this wonderful, lovely thing for this person, and they don't want it. They don't appreciate my effort. They don't think that my crafts are cool, stuff like that. So, like, I'm not against handmade gifts by any sense of the word. Like I said, I gave everyone that I gave gifts to this year gifts that I made by hand. But I also gave them things that I thought that they wanted. I gave them things that I could make that I thought that they would enjoy. That I thought that they wouldn't want to put in the bin immediately. That would sit around and be nice things for them to have. And I think that that is an important part of homemade gifts that gets forgotten about because people get very excited to share their crafts or share their hobbies or whatever else, and they forget that, maybe that other person doesn't have a bunch of space for 1,000,002 like poster board pictures that you're going to print out for them on some really nice vinyl cards, or they maybe don't have time to learn a bunch of really cool new card games, even if they said they wanted to learn some cool new card games and they don't have the money and you bought them some cool cards, right? Like there are a or made them some cool cards. Sorry, I was saying about homemade gifts. Um, but yeah, there are plenty of reasons that like homemade gifts can just not be the right thing for people. And if you don't acknowledge that, it's just gonna be sad for you and the person you're giving the homemade gifts to. So, homemade gifts are cool, but make sure you're giving homemade gifts to people that are going to appreciate the effort and the gift itself, because you don't want to go around putting a lot of effort into stuff that's just gonna be problematic. Too many people put their effort into stuff that's just not worth it. All right. That is so cute. We are getting pretty close to done with this one, I think. Am I missing something obvious that you guys can tell? Because our little bookkeeper looks like he's bookkeeping, and our little online shopper looks like he's online shopping for fish. Our bookkeeper looks sufficiently nervous. Give him a little sweat drop. Actually, maybe I'll put the sweat drop on the right side. And make it a little bit bigger. Overlap the glasses a little bit. Ta-da! Uh, well, what do you guys think of save money versus lose weight for our first one? Oh gosh, we spent so long on that first one. Ooh, talking and getting started and all of that jazz. It's a slow one today, guys. Should we give maybe we'll give our cat that is trying to lose weight some stripes to really emphasize that this is a big old boy. And make him look real round. That's pretty cute. And then maybe we'll just give our bookkeeper cat like a light gray, just so that you can make him out just a little bit better. And then make the glasses stand out, I think. It's so cute. What do you think about that, guys? You think that's pretty cute? I think it's pretty cute. And then we have our little online shopper over here. He's just buying some fish. Don't worry about it, just a fish. Did he already have dinner? Well, yeah, but like he wants a fish. Is there more food in the fridge? Well, yeah, but like he wants a fish. Is there any reason that he needs to buy this fish instead of eating the food in the fridge? Well, no. But he wants it. He wants the fish. That's pretty cute. And I'm just gonna kind of put them on the floor for no reason in particular. I just wanted them to look a little bit more in the same place. They kind of looked like two different drawings at the moment. Ta-da! That's so cute. I really like this one. Ta-da! Okay. What do you guys think? Do you like that one? I think it came out really cute. Uh, I think I am going to let you guys stare at this one for a minute while I get up and stretch because it is very cute. And yeah, I do kind of want to get up and stretch because my back is hurting me. I don't know if you guys see me being a little bit moany and groany over here while I've been drawing for you, but yeah. Oh, I'm old. I'm an old man. My back hurts, and I gotta stand up and stretch. And I'm gonna do that. So, yeah. Human maintenance moment, and I will try not to take too super long stretching. We will be back in just a minute, and then we will do, uh, eating healthy, and, oh, what'd I just do? Okay, I guess maybe I just moved the window. Um, my window flashed. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, uh, I'm going to, yeah, sign off for just a minute. I will be right back and we will do eating healthy and going to the gym. Be right back. And now the microphone is back on. Whoops. Okay. Hi guys. We are back. And if you don't want to watch me move the page, I feel like you guys have probably been staring at this one long enough if you're sitting here. And if you're not, then you don't care about staring at this one anyway. So don't look at the notebook for a second because I'm going to move it. And then we will do eating healthy versus going to the gym. And I can't imagine that we're gonna get more than that one done, but if we do, I can always flip the page back and look. Oh, guys, we are getting so close to being done with this sketchbook. It's crazy. This sketchbook has lasted me so long, and I don't know. I really like the cream colored paper. It's gonna be weird drawing on pure white paper again. I'm sure it'll make my cute little scans look really nice for you guys, but yeah, no, the having the full contrast paper again is gonna be weird for me, I think, a little bit. 'Cause all of my... Here, for... In spirit of New Year's, we can look at some of my frickin', or a little bit anyway. I won't take up too much of this with silly little sketchbook review stuff, but this is a super old, you guys could look, I'm not moving anything now. This is a super old sketch pad that I had given to me for Christmas probably a decade ago, like unironically a decade ago. I went and pulled this thing out of a storage box because um you guys remember me saying literally like before I left that I'm not good at spending money on myself. Well, uh I noticed that my sketchbook was about to run out, and instead of saying I could buy a new sketchbook, I said, "You know what? I have a bunch of books in storage that I bet are partway done, and I could go and use the rest of them." Which, you know, point I think is cool for uh reasons other than the fact that I refuse to spend money on myself, but it was also partially because I don't want to spend money on myself. Um but yeah, I think this one has like 10 pages actually worked on or something, and it's a 100 sheet book. So there are plenty of heavyweight paper sheets, excellent for ink and pencil, ideal for detail work in this. Like, it's just old copy paper sketchbook. Um, Here we can, let me see if I can find a decent one to show off. Uh, Here, I'll show you guys this one so that you guys, if you guys aren't as far through your art journey as me, you know, if you're maybe feeling a little bit insecure watching me draw such as art may be sometimes, we can see that I also used to draw really badly. Um, Here is something with the date written on it, and you guys can look now. I've stopped moving it. Um, that I was probably super proud of at the time, like ecstatic. I was like this is like I was not a small child when I drew this. And I was like, aha, gorgeous, beauty, masterwork. Guys, look at this. I'm gonna put colors in it. It's gonna be so good. Um, and I mean, admittedly, there's some foundations and stuff, but it's not good. It's not good. My camera, my camera is doing this a lot of favors right now. It's yeah, it's quite laughable, honestly. Um, my proportions used to be a lot worse than they are. I know they're not great now, but yeah, there's not a wonderful example of how bad they used to be because there's not that many drawings in here. But here I can show off a little bit. I used to be really I've always been really good at realism because I'm a little bit on the spectrum and I'm really good at details. So this is a skull that I drew at like the same time. Uh ta-da. Yeah. It's just cute little skull. I mean, okay. And now I will stop doing the moving pictures and we will do our last cute little cats for the day. Um, but yeah, so this has like tons of blank pages in it. Uh, but they are very, 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 very white. They are like so bleach white. Uh, hello. Uh, nice to see everybody. It's just lots of people in here today. That's so cool. Uh, I kind of assumed that there would be a lot less people here with the holidays, but I am so glad that you guys want to Okay. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't help it. I thought of it and I'm like I can't not name it that now because they will. We were talking about this earlier. Resolutions are a little bit silly because if you want to be improving yourself, you should be doing that all the time. And if you need a kick in the pants, that's fine. Uh, but well, you know what? You probably will. I would hope that most of you as like individuals last longer than my drawings. That would I mean, I'm not sealing any of these or anything. This isn't archival paper as far as I'm aware. It probably will not look great a year from now. I would hope you last. Ooh, you don't gotta hit me like that. It's ouch, a little too real for me. Especially cuz I'm sitting around waiting on a bunch of doctors to do their freaking jobs. Um so yeah, that one's a little too real for me. I don't want to respond to that, I'll be honest. Uh, I don't think I have a real one. I think, ooh, see, my, my cute little prescription cocktail from my many doctors is very specific about what I'm allowed to put on top of it, and alcohol is not one of those things, so I have been trying to figure out how I'm going to, like, space out like I've basically tried to figure out how my sister imported me uh, a bottle of some really nice rum, and it's very small. Um, so I want to maybe try it and maybe even drink it, but I'm really not allowed to drink very much at a time, or probably like very much at all, honestly. Like I'm really not supposed to. But I've been trying to plan like drinking that for like the rest of my life basically, because in like very small doses. Uh because I really appreciate my prescription cocktail. It makes my brain work, and a little bit my insides. I wish it would help my stomach more, but you know, you win some, you lose some, all of that. Uh yeah, no, I got you. Um Everybody should always be responsible. And yeah, I'm not endorsing anybody going against doctor recommendations. I have asked my doctor, and he has said that there is a small chance that anything bad there's basic he basically said that I would probably be fine to have a very small amount on a social occasion, uh if somebody was watching me the first time that that had happened, so that, you know, in case something drastic did happen, I wouldn't, you know, be in trouble. Um, so, you know, don't go against your doctor's recommendations. I am doing this after having asked my doctor if it was okay, and him having seemed a lot less worried about it than I was, admittedly. Um, but I also get to read all of the paperwork about each of my medications individually every time I take them from the pharmacy. So I get to be a little bit more starkly reminded of all of those side effects and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Well, see, rum doesn't really have much for like medicinal benefits over that you know are better than the amount of kidney and liver damage that it does really fast. You know, that's usually the point when they prescribe things to you is are you going to get more benefit from it than they anticipate you are going to have negative effects. And that's why like that's usually why, even if there's like basically no chance that stuff will happen to you, doctors will go over all the side effects of stuff, is because like, you know, maybe it's a 6% chance that you're gonna lose your right thumb or something, but also maybe you're a pianist, and that 6% chance that you're gonna lose your right thumb is way more important to you than somebody else, right? Like, stuff is all big relative, and but pretty much everybody likes their liver and their kidneys, you know. That's pretty much everyone thing. So rum is usually not prescribed, I think, because pretty much everyone likes their liver and their kidneys, and pretty much everybody is affected by rum in that way negatively. Yeah, me too. Me too. I really appreciate mine. They have saved me a time or two. Um and I would like to have them stick around, you know? Hmm. You know, I do actually know a full-grown adult who doesn't, And let me tell you, I am pretty sure that he wished that he did. uh, cause you do have to, but sticking around with just one of them is rough. And you've only got two of one of those. One of those is only uh is you do only have one liver for the record. You don't have two livers. Yep. Yep. That would be a good guess. And also thank you for the first time chat. I appreciate all of those. That's fine. I don't expect everybody to have medical knowledge or anything. I'm just saying for the record, you do only have one of those. Um and you can lose pieces of it, but you do need it. It is important. And you do also kind of need both of it. It's better if you have both of your kidneys. Let's just say that. It's not necessary, but neither are legs, and I'm pretty sure you would be uncomfortable without yours. And if you don't have them, you know what I'm talking about. You probably are thinking, it would be really nice if I had some legs, actually. That's true. Uh, and I mean, because it's just not like the world is not set up for people without them. That's what I'm like. The world is not set up for people without kidneys. The world is not really set up for people with normal immune systems, much less people with one kidney, you know? Like yeah, no. Most of your bodily pieces and functions are like really cool to have, and you should appreciate them. And like, you know, not you should listen to your doctors, guys. Listening to doctors is cool. And if you don't trust yours, that's totally fine. Get a different one, but still listen to somebody. Yeah, yeah. I think, there's like some vestigial stuff about like I mean, some people argue about the amount of fingers that we actually need, or like uh the fact that we've got like technically the little bone for a tail that's like vestigial on the ends of our spines. Um but like, you know, most of them are important. Mm. Okay. So I think we're going to have we have somebody who is actually eating healthier, and then somebody who is failing to go to the gym. So I think what we're going to have is maybe like, excuse me. Excuse me. Like I said, I am still a little bit sick. Apologies. At least it was I have two very different sneezes, and one is like a little tiny kitten sneeze, and the other one is like a huge goblin roar, and there is no in between. So at least it was not the one that would hurt the headphone users' ears. Thank you for the bless. Uh it's the devil trying to escape. I made sure he stayed in there. I think we're gonna have two cats going for smoothies, and we'll have one cat that is like wearing gym stuff, like they were gonna go to the gym, but now they're having smoothies, and they won't. They'll just like. I mean, I'm sure it would be an effort to make a cat look like they had been on a workout anyway, but we just won't make them look like they're on a workout. Just wearing workout stuff, and then maybe we'll have mm, I don't know. Maybe the cat will be eating like I don't know. I don't know. See, cat diets are like mostly about calories and less about like the kinds of foods, as long as you're not feeding your cats anything they're intolerant to, as far as I know. Maybe pumpkin. Maybe pumpkin. Yeah, cat chugging pumpkin protein shake. And then the other cat maybe just has like whipped cream whipped cream's like milkshake or something with the cherry little sprinkles, you know. Even though he looks like he's going to work out. That seems pretty cute. I think we're gonna do that. Here, I'm gonna mark my little tracking dots here so that I can see where we are at. But it looks like you guys can see a lot of the page at the moment, so I think we're fine. I am gonna just draw some little smoothies sitting here taking up the center screen. And then this one has a lid because it's protein shake, but this one can't have a lid because it needs to be free for all of the whip. And then we'll put a little cherry and maybe some sprinkles. My girlfriend is laughing her butt off about something. Also, for the record, guys, I do like having like my kind of home office space open uh because of my cats mostly, but like if there's ever like big noise going on in my house or something and it's becoming an issue, y'all can just say something to me and I will go lock the cats out temporarily and they will deal. Because I know my mic is kind of sensitive. Well, I'm just saying you can. That's all. But I appreciate it. And maybe we'll just have like
a bite, a bite missing here, and then we'll have like whipped cream on cat nose or something on this side. Oh, you know what, guys? Okay, so I'm gonna make a cute little joke here, and I'm gonna explain the joke, and then we can also talk about eating healthier at the same time. So, uh, there are a lot of myths about food, um, and a lot of them are originating from like well-intentioned people and dietitians even sometimes, or just misreading or misunderstanding or misinterpreting information, because food science is really really individual and really really complicated, and lots of people love to be like, oh, it's calories in calories out, but that and that is real true for like math but the amount of calories that you intake and the amount of calories that you output are dependent on so many different things that reducing it to those things is a little disingenuous, even if you're trying to be good intentioned about it. Um and for some people, like, you know, they don't have a bunch of excess food problems or whatever, and so it feels appropriate to push that narrative, but it isn't that simple for most people. um and I think that one of the big things that people misunderstand about food is that um is intuitive eating, basically. And I personally do practice intuitive eating, and I have some other mental health problems that make it difficult for me to do that appropriately, but it's not a problem with the intuitive eating, it's a problem with me listening to myself and responding appropriately. Um, and I think that listening to your body and responding appropriately is a really underrated skill, especially when it comes to eating better. Um, like, people will say things like, "Oh, but I really want to eat like a big slice of cake, and if I eat a big slice of cake, I'm gonna feel bad," right? It's like, okay, but what you just said is that you are interested in the experience of eating a big slice of cake, but you know that that big slice of cake is going to make you feel bad, right? Like that big slice of cake has given you a bodily response that lets you know that it is not something you actually want, right? And you can eat a smaller slice of cake and still have the experience of eating the cake and not feel bad because you ate a big slice of cake, right? And uh and that is certainly not easy. I'm saying it's simple. I'm not saying it's easy. Uh cuz a lot of people, especially here in the US where food ends up being a big problem for poorer families, and lots of kids grow up around food scarcity, it can feel like a big deal just interacting with food at all. And I get that that means that thinking about food in a way that is like individual for you is usually really super freaking stressful and usually not something people really want to do. But also, the way, the number one way to eat better for yourself is to listen to yourself. And I think that every dietitian that I appreciate the advice of has said something to those lines. Um, Along with that, there are many different uh, nutritional tests that you can take for like insensitivities. Like if you're worried that a type of food is like hurting you, there is almost certainly like an allergen test or some sort of a breath test that if you have private insurance you can just pay for, or if you don't have private insurance you can probably get your doctor to work with you to figure out how those tests can get done. um, because it is really really usually a lot simpler and a lot harder than people want it to be. Like, usually people are looking for some complicated thing that they can do, like counting every single calorie that they take throughout the entirety of the day and writing down all of the like macro micronutrients for each meal. And sure, if you're looking for specific patterns and you know what you're looking for, maybe that information is helpful to you. But if you're using that information to just shame yourself about the amount of calories that you're eating, or to make sure that you're eating some like nutritional standard appropriate amount of fat, like that is just not like helpful usually. I feel like yeah, I mean if you that's what I'm saying. If you are looking for something specific, like if you feel like something is lacking in your nutrition and you want to write down like, okay, this is how much like of this is how many like different types of vitamins I get over the month, or this is all the types of fats that I eat in a week, or stuff like that. Like, I think that that's totally fine. But I think that that's a lot different than itemizing your calories or ingredients in your food, or figuring out which chemicals are better FDA approved or worse FDA approved. Like, if you are going to be worrying yourself about the food while you're eating it, you like stress while you're eating food is another big one. If you stress yourself out while you eat, you are actually actively slowing your metabolism while you're eating. So you are taking in nutrients less efficiently, and you are collecting more fats and sugars that you don't need to be collecting. So you will gain weight better if you are stressing yourself out while eating, because your body just wants to collect uh yeah, a lot of the time in the US there will be unfortunate situations where it is a lot cheaper to eat unhealthy foods than it is to eat healthy ones. By like a lot. By like not not a small amount. Um like if I went to the grocery store right now and bought Like just like the Walmart, not the place where I go to buy actual groceries usually, which is my warehouse store. But if I just went to like the local Walmart and I bought like a can of Campbell's soup, will cost me $1.60. I can, however, go and buy a frozen Hungry Man dinner that is probably absolutely no nutritional value and like 140 calories worth of frozen food. Um, that's like some chicken nuggets for children and mac and cheese that's been dehydrated and frozen and reheated in my microwave for like 60 cents. Um, and people will a lot of the time pick the microwave food or like instant noodles or um yeah, it's really sad. Or another thing about food here in the US is that we subsidize a lot of cereal grain farming. So we have a lot of like corn and wheat and stuff in just like stuff like corn is in everything. Like if you have an intolerance to corn, you basically can't eat 70% of the things in a US supermarket. Um because even sugar in the US is made out of corn. Um like high fructose corn syrup is used for sugar more than I think any other sugar additive, including sugar. Um and cornstarches are used in all sorts of things. Uh yeah. Yeah. No, it's really yeah, carbs are a big one for people that don't have money here. Pasta is really inexpensive and won't have corn in it a lot of the time, but it will have wheat, cereal grain stuff. If you have an intolerance to like gluten, it is super hard to eat in the US. Because so many things have bread that are cheap things. Because flour and water is inexpensive. And yeah, no, it's really crazy. Um yeah. No, it's a lot. Eating in the US if you want to eat healthy is definitely hard. I'm not saying it's easy by any means. Just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's easy. Um like I can tell people all day that you should eat less corn, but like I just said, 70% of the things in a US supermarket are typically going to have corn in them. So, I mean, I know that I should eat less corn, but eating less corn in practice is really difficult. Um, or like if I wanted to go and buy some fresh fruit, uh buying like two Roma tomatoes at the grocery store, um just two of them, even in season, is like $5. Uh which is like what I would spend on like 3 cans of soup. Uh it's like probably 5 frozen meals for like two tomatoes. Um so if I wanted to actually buy like fresh produce or meat, it's like even and other places are better than where I live because I actually live in something called a food desert, which if you don't know what that means, it basically means that there are so few available like like food options around me that I have been like zoned by the government as having less food options around me, basically. Uh, because there is, some restaurants and my probably two big grocery stores. I think there's three actually, but one of them is kind of more pricey, expensive stuff. And that's like all that there is in my whole town for food acquiry options. Um yeah, well, and then like technically in cuz like technically I live in like an off town. I don't live in like the main town. Like I I live in like the next to town, and there's like not even a grocery store here in my actual town. Like I have to drive 30 minutes into the actual town to go to the grocery store because there isn't even one in my actual town, and there's not public transportation here, so I do have to get somebody to drive me um just to go to the store. uh and then I also have to spend $5 on tomatoes, so it's a lot. It is rough. Yeah, no, it's huge. And the the state that I live in AZ, and we are very, very, very spread out. Yeah, that would be me crossing like the state. Yeah, no. And like it really wouldn't be as big a deal as people make it out to be if we were just allowed to have the same public transportation as you guys. But we have all those freaking highway lobbyists that want us to drive our fancy little cars. Yeah. I'm sure it's really not comparable without having experience, because I did not realize how convenient having public transportation really was until I went to college and there was a tram that was free, and I could just get on the tram and be at a place that I wanted to go, and I didn't have to ask anybody to take me, and I didn't have to like fuel a car and worry about traffic and like think about where I'm going. I could just get on the tram and get off the tram, and it was so, so nice. Absolutely wonderful. And then I got to move back here. And, oh, it's rough. It's rough. It really is just night and day experience. Um, yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, the tram is wonderful. And buses are pretty good too, honestly. I mean, people give buses a hard time here in the US cuz we've got kind of crummy infrastructure and oversight stuff, so some of them end up being a little bit nasty, but like they're so convenient. It's really kind of worth it anyway, in my opinion. But yeah, the buses here are usually not on time either. But um honestly, I would rather, I mean, at least they're running. Like I I I can't yeah. it's so sad being here with absolutely no public transportation. And then like if somebody wants to go out and like get a drink with me or something, right? Like I can't drive to go and get a drink and then drive home, and they can't drive with me to go and get a drink and drive home. So anytime anybody wants to go and get drinks ever, somebody has to go and be sober the whole time, and or we have to like go to somebody's house, be in a place where we can be drunk and not go home, like not having public transportation is it actually creates so many problems. Or like one of the things that people really don't think about, I think, is how many old people are on the road because of there not being any public transportation. Like if you are an old person, if you're like say 60, 70 plus, and you uh have, maybe some mobility issues or other health concerns, or maybe your eyesight's not that good, you probably would rather not be driving a car. You probably would rather sit down and let somebody drive you around town. And instead, what we have are lots of old people on the road that maybe can't see so well, maybe have some medical issues, uh, with headlights that are so bright that they can like see through. uh yeah, well, I'm sure that it's not gonna get all the old people off the roads, uh but yeah, no, like here in the like I don't have a license. And here in the US, if you are an adult who says that they don't have a license, like people basically assume something is wrong with you. And like yeah, it ends up being a pride thing. I'm sure you're right. Um but like also like at a certain point there's also like people that I think their headlights are actually they end up being dangerous to other people. Here in AZ, we do not have a lot of like light pollution. Yeah, thank you. We are drawn some cat loafs having some smoothies. Uh, one of them is going to be healthy, and one of them is clearly not. Uh, but yeah, if you tell people that you don't have a license here, they assume something is like actually wrong with you. Like they assume that you got it like taken from you, or that you uh were like homeless or something. Uh which I mean, technically I was homeless for a little bit, but also that was not my fault. I was a child, so shrug. Yeah, that's true. They are if you just take the test, that's true. Um but like also I don't have anyone to teach. Like I could ask like people, individual humans that I know to teach me to drive that are like my age. But if I wanted to take like a driving class over here, cuz we don't have them in schools anymore for the most part. Uh I would have to pay for somebody to teach me to drive, and like it would be like $1,000 or more. Um here in AZ at least. I don't know about other places. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's still more than, but yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, I can imagine there are a lot there are a lot less roadways to yeah, I can imagine there are a lot less roadways to draw out. Less, or I mean, more roadways, but yeah, less. Anyway, you know what I mean. That sounds correct. Is all I was saying. Um, yeah, we don't have to have someone teach us. We are allowed to have nobody teach us for us to read uh a small like 15 page like little pamphlet thing um for somebody to pay $15 get you can get like a C on the written test and still pass um and then I don't I don't know how badly you can fail on the actual driving test cuz I never got that far but I'm pretty sure you can miss quite a few points on the actual driving test. No, you have to wait like 6 months, I think, with your practice license before you can take the actual driving test. And then you have to probably pay like 15 more bucks. So it's like probably 30-ish bucks. So if you want to be like cheap, you want to just get in a car and you don't really care about like actually knowing that you are being safe in said car, you can skim this 15-page booklet the night before the test so you can cram for the test the night before. uh Take like I think it's usually like a 20 question test. You can get like a C and then you can get in a car the very next day with your practice license, drive around like a crazy person for like 6 months, practice really, really carefully for the test itself, pay like 15 more bucks, be really careful about the actual test, and then be a certified driver on the US road. And if you guys were wondering why our roads are as crazy as they are, I hope that that was a decent explanation. Um cuz yeah, you can mostly if you want to like getting a license is not the hard part of owning a car here. Um for sure. For sure it is not. And yeah, I if I wanted to take a driving course, it would cost me a lot of money, but that is not even a little bit mandatory. Most people would say I was being like a little bit excessive or extra or something to go and pay that money to get somebody to teach me. Um yeah, most people are just out there on the roads kind of winging it. it's it's crazy. And then everybody's doing it because we have to. It's wonderful. We have a great system set up for everyone. Yeah. Our our uh our infrastructure has really not kept up with the rest of you guys. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Uh Everybody gets a cute little dopamine loop. We love the dopamine loop. Yeah, boo. Uh I'm sure if yeah. Uh, yeah. That's there's different versions of the extreme there, but also I would argue that the one that is trying to be safe and not the one that is trying to shove people into expensive 2-ton machines is probably the better one. I know basically nothing about that country, so I have no commentary. Um, End of statement. Sorry. I'm not worldly enough for that one. Uh, yeah, I see. I do know that uh I have heard that Germany is very um interested in getting you to do a lot of paperwork. They're very I was trying to find a nice way to say anal about paperwork, but I can't. So, they're very particular. There we go. Very particular about paperwork. Oh, no, absolutely nothing. I am no, all of my worldly knowledge is from being a child of the internet. Um like absolute like I think probably the most that I heard about like any like anytime that we got like a class that was like world history, it's always like US history with details about other countries that we interacted with. Like if you want to actually learn about the culture of another country here in the US, you're going to do that like in college and you're probably going to like have to take a specific course on that other country. Oh no, I don't think I even took I think I took one sociology class um in high school. Uh and like probably yeah, I don't think I took any geography classes. Um no, I could not tell you. No, geography really undertaught in the US. I am so bad at geography. I have difficult I know that this is probably something people in other countries have seen as a joke, but I hopefully do not seem like a stupid person. I hopefully do not come across as a big old dummy moron. I still could not label like one of those graphs of all of the 50 states in the US. Uh if I tried to go in and label which state was which one, I would probably not pass. Like I would not probably get 70% of them correct. Um yeah, see that's about where I'm at, but I live here. So, I feel like I should probably know more than that, but I don't. I know I know what all of them are. Like I could list all of them by name and I could look at a map of the US and kind of guess the area for most of them, but I would all Do you guys actually want me to list them? I feel like that would be annoying. Uh, I can actually, I can list them all in alphabetical order because I learned that as a party trick. Um, Here, let me sip my coffee and I'll show you guys my cute little geography party trick, and this is the whole of my geography knowledge because I am here from the US and I don't know geography, but I can say all of the states in alphabetical order. Okay. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Dun dun dun. Thank you, thank you. And there is my party trick. I couldn't put them on a map though. Cannot put them on a map. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it wasn't just me being an annoying little dork because I was a little worried. Um, but yeah, that that is the extent of my geography knowledge. I can say all the 50 states in alphabetical order, and I know where my state is on a map. I know where California is. I know where. Yeah, I know a couple of the coastal ones, you know. I can do some coastal ones, and then um the ones where I have lived, I can put those ones on a map. But yeah, there's a lot of them, and I do not know most of them on a map. Well, thanks. You go right ahead. Uh and show off my one party trick. That's probably not true. I'm sure I've got some other party trick, but my one party trick for the stream. Thank you. I also think that they're pretty cute. I think they are coming out real good. But also, I'm not totally sure how I want to put. I thought I wanted to put whipped cream on this guy's nose, but I think that's maybe a bit much. Maybe I'll just have him like licking his lips or something, like just tongue out. Because I think if I try to do much more than that, they're like very small, and I'm gonna make it look messy. I could just give him like another snack, like maybe he's also got uh like a candy bar or something. But yeah, even history, like I don't know. I feel like just in general, education in the US is not very good. And where I live specifically, uh yeah, we don't get a lot of foreign languages. I think most people um most people will learn a little bit of Spanish. Uh, but I think for yeah, Spanish is I think the big one that most people learn a little bit of, but proper language instruction in the US is really scarce, I think. Especially in uh like undergrad school. Yeah, and that we can't but I mean even before you can't go to university for free, like I remember cuz like there is a wide I think one of the things that people miss about the US a lot is that it is really different in different parts of the US. Like every single like there are some things about like the states being able to manage themselves that are kind of intuitive, and then some things people would assume the government would still handle, and then here in the US they don't, and the education system is one of those. So the education system here in the US, we do have a big federal education bureau thing, but the amount of power that that has over state education is minimal. Um, and the education that you get can vary a lot based on which state that you're in. Um, and like the state that I lived in before this one had like a way better education system. Uh, I so hope so because people keep bragging about the fact that we're not in any active wars anymore, so I don't know how and I mean there's so much excess military spending that goes into like just police state stuff. I'm being too political now. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go back to finishing up the cats. But yeah, it's a big old mess. We're a big old mess over here. Uh we're behind the times. Yeah, I know parts of like three languages, but I wouldn't say that I speak more than one. And the other two that I speak, like one of them I speak like a teeny tiny little bit of Portuguese where I just know like some words because my dad is Brazilian and speaks Brazilian Portuguese, and then like I learned Japanese in high school and in college, and I probably know enough Japanese that I could get around in Japan and be like a tourist. Um, yeah, that's kind of me with the Japanese, I think, because like I I oh that's cool. I I have probably like first grade, second grader knowledge of Japanese, which sounds like nothing, but there is so much to learn about the basics of Japanese that vocab is kind of just funsies after the fact. Like, the basics of Japanese are huge. So the fact that I feel pretty confident about the basics, I feel like makes me probably a much better speaker than I feel like I am. Um yeah. Uh Here, can I say I'm also too dumb? I 私も頭が悪いでね. Uh my head is also too stupid for that. But I do all right in Japanese. Um, I want to learn enough Japanese that I can watch kids cartoons with no subtitles. That is, and then the osmosis will begin. Ah, thank you. Yeah, yeah. That's what you're supposed to say in Japanese. If you get a compliment, you're supposed to be like, "No, I got no compliment. I watashi wa warui." You know, I'm super bad. Thank you, thank you. I tried really hard to make sure my pronunciation was pretty good because I I I've probably done a little bit of this for you guys, but I'm pretty good at voices, and a lot of that is because when I was very small, um, like I said, my dad is Brazilian Portuguese, and I used to be from a pretty rural northern area, so I had like a big weird accent, um, and uh, I I ended up kind of like getting made fun of a lot, and yes, kind of, I think it's northeast. That's it's in the north side. Anyway, but yeah, I had a really bad accent that lots of kids picked on as a kid, and like a really heavy accent, bad, like it was dramatic. It was very different, um, and people made fun of me, so I got really good at not. No, probably not. Every time, I mean, it was probably something. No, that's way wrong. Anyway, it was like is kind of like round and hick, like sometimes when I'm mad I sound a little bit more like it my girlfriend says, but I can't do it on purpose. Um but uh just cuz it was weird. I probably could if I practiced, but I don't really have interest in practicing it cuz it made me uncomfortable and now I don't want to do it. But yeah, I know lots of people like accents, but kids are mean, and anyway, the TLDR of that story was that I'm pretty good at pronunciation, like the way that things are supposed to sound, because I have a lot of different phonemes. Um uh it was it probably more like this is like very kind of round, and Portuguese has a lot of like I'm doing British now. It's like yeah. No, I like accents too. I think accents are sweet, and I would not current day have gotten a smaller me to uh you know convince myself to speak so properly, so evenly. Um but yeah, as a kid I was really nervous about it. So I also kind of like make my voice deeper on purpose. Like this is kind of lower than my normal register on purpose just because I yeah, I am very on the spectrum, and I got very focused on how people perceived me at one point. and decided that that meant I needed to have a lot of really appropriate mannerisms for masking. And what one of those was speaking very evenly and properly and according to the context of the situation. Uh yeah, German, I really like oh uh I'm trying to remember. It's an African dialect. But I really like lots of like round uh I like lots of stuff that sounds distinctive, right? So stuff that is like easy to distinguish. I don't really like languages that sound mushed or slurry. Uh but that's just me. Yeah. Yeah, I think you should do whatever makes you feel cozy. And I wouldn't feel uncomfortable having an accent current day, but it's a little bit late and well, for that accent anyway, and I don't really feel like re-implementing an accent for the heck of it. So, maybe I'll move somewhere and start talking like people. Uh I really like um when people will speak what supposedly Greek sounded like. Uh, because it does have lots of like stuff in it, but it's like for the purposes of distinction. Like they're not slurred vowels to sound like um vague, right? They're still supposed to be purposeful. Uh, but yeah, I think I think that accents are pretty cool. But also like yeah, I did have a pretty distinctive one, and now I get really hung up on how stuff is pronounced just because uh I feel like it's part of like my tism mask. Um and also I don't mind you guys talking about like general area where you live, but do be careful. Nobody put their address in the chat or anything, all right? I don't want to be responsible for any of that. I can't stop anybody from sharing where you live, but just like, you know, if you want to give each other your address, do it in DMs where I'm not liable for it. Pretty please and thank you. I Everybody here should be an adult, so I'm not saying I can stop you. I'm just not endorsing it. Please and thanks. Yeah. I mean, do you guys like where you live? You guys could tell me some nice things about your areas cuz I've been talking about how uh poop it is here. Or I could tell you some nice things about living here like that I get to go outside wearing whatever the heck I want and yell at all hours of the evening. Um I could paint my house a silly color if I wanted. Uh I have water directly into my house. And it's not clean enough to drink, but it almost is, and I can put a filter on my tap and then it will be. Uh and yeah, those are all cool things. I have a house. That's really nice. Lots of people in the US don't get to live in a house, unfortunately. So that's cool for me. Um, Not necessarily people in the US, but me specifically. Uh, oh, that's cool. You guys have castles. I love places with castles. I love places with just huge stone buildings. Huge stone buildings are so cool. Um, I kind of th- I have a bunch of stuff that I like. I have like big random project ideas and it's like, maybe one day if I had like 1,000,002 free hours and 1,000,002 free resources, I would do that. Uh but like I think it would be really cool to build a stone building. Um in case you haven't noticed by my little freaking controller holder or any of the other random stuff that I show you guys that I make. I'm a little bit craftsy and I like designing things and I think it would be really cool to design a house um and build a really big stone house that just like would be there forever. But also yeah, that's kind of like a huge investment. Like it's of time and money and resources and while I would love to do that, yeah, probably not something I'm working on anytime soon. But it would be cool. And I do love just looking at big stone buildings. There are like no trees by me, so having lots of just like greenery around, I feel like is super nice. But that might be a grass is always greener type situation cuz like I said there aren't very many here. I live in AZ, which is both a food desert and an actual desert. So, there is nothing here besides the people for some reason. Hmm. What flavor should our milkshake be? Maybe. Hmm. Maybe we'll have it be like orange and chocolate chips. Ooh, raspberry and chocolate chips. That's good. That's actually so sweet. That's perfect fake healthy fruit. And yes, I am coming for the raspberry eaters. Kidding. Uh, Raspberries are good for antioxidants, but they are also really full of sugar. They have a lot of sugar. Yeah, if you guys have problems with sugar and you're like, I can't figure out I all I eat is healthy food. Why do I have problems with sugar? It's probably fruit. Fruit is one of those things that people do not realize is actually so full of sugar, like actually so full of sugar that it's crazy. Like you will have more sugar eating like a box of raspberries than you will eating a cookie if you just eat one. Like it's kind of crazy how much sugar is in fruit sometimes, and it's sugar that's better for you because your body will process it better than like cane sugar that's been purified and processed down into your food, but still a lot. It's still a lot of sugar usually. So, PSA on that one. Raspberries, chock full of sugar. If you aren't supposed to be having a bunch of sugar, uh, fruit is a real easy way to accidentally fuck that up. And I'm gonna put a little chocolate chip on the raspberry leaf. We love sugar bars. I'm not saying don't eat sugar, guys. I love sugar. These are all tips for just like, individual, like you should, like, my big tip for health that I for eating healthy that I am going to stand by over any overriding information. If I say something that sounds like it contradicts this, I'm taking this one first. Is you should listen to yourself. So if you want to eat some sugar and your body goes, I want sugar, you should just eat some sugar. Because, like, trying to pretend that you don't want it is usually going to end up making you make dumber food choices than if you just ate a little bit of a chocolate bar. Yeah, see, well, there is always some of that, I'm sure, around the holidays, and yeah, like I said, I had to be kind of stern with some people about the fact that my meds cocktail really doesn't let me put alcohol in my body. But it's okay. It's okay. As long as you're taking care of you, that's what matters. And now we have a cute little raspberry smoothie milkshake. Cat salivating. Doesn't it? It looks so healthy. Meanwhile, our other cat here with his pumpkin sludge. Yeah, drinking fruit shakes, real easy way to gain weight. Um, because there there are lots of healthy fats in fruit. There are lots of healthy sugars. Your body wants to absorb that crap. So, if you need fats and sugars, they're great. They're wonderful. You should drink them. If you don't, they are a really great way to put on some extra pudge because they are chock full of that stuff. I'm gonna give our cat some little chin acne. Cats can get chin acne. Did you guys know that? Only one of my cats gets chin acne, and he like never lets me fix it for him. So, uh, fun fact about cats. He's gonna look a little bit disappointed in his friend. Because his friend was supposed to go to the gym. And instead, he just came here for the smoothies and his workout gear. He didn't even break a sweat. His friend can tell. Hmm. Maybe we'll give him kind of like a greasy front hair thingy. For the record, guys, uh, since science is fluid and changes all the time and, uh, all of that jazz, at time of reporting, my understanding of reading lots of dietary science is that uh the current the current leading theory on what causes people to get acne in excessive amounts other than genetics is diet. So, if you are having some acne problems like I am right now, maybe investigate the fact that you have eaten 60 cookies in a month if you're me. Uh or like I straight up I like never get acne like ever pretty much. And I I also don't usually have much of a sweet tooth. But last month when all of my anti-sads started working and I got more fun for you guys, I also got kind of a little bit addicted to cookies and I love them so much and I eat so many of them. And I'm also pretty sure they're the reason that I'm breaking out pretty bad. I had like 3 pimples on my chin. I've got one you can see on the camera right now. Uh, yeah, I'm not that stressed though. I'm actually getting a lot less stressed. Um, Yeah, water is good. I have water right here. Drink your water. Yeah. Also, apparently, one of the big things that lots of people will do when they try to lose weight that will prevent them from doing so is milk in your coffee, because milk in your coffee is apparently a really good way to slow your metabolism, because if you are drinking a black coffee every morning, you are increasing your metabolism, right? If you drink nothing, you're not doing anything. But if you drink milk in the morning, your body wants to absorb all of the fats and nutrients from that milk. So you are slowing your metabolism because it's trying to catch up with the milk that you drink, or and all of the fats and the sugars and the nutrients from that milk. And then if you're also drinking black coffee, you're adding acid to that, so your stomach is trying to process acid on top of being slower because it's trying to absorb nutrients and fat. So you will gain more weight. Is that, if that's water and vodka, I'm pretty sure it's probably not a morning type of drink. Um, but it probably would be good for losing weight. Probably not responsibly. I wouldn't I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, I don't think. Um, but well, just anything that has lots of like fats and nutrients will slow your metabolism, because anything that has things your metabolism wants to absorb will slow it down because it wants to absorb them, right? So like if you take a lot of like vitamin pills and you don't eat things with those vitamin pills, that will slow your metabolism, and it will also give you really expensive pee. If you like, I mean, I'm sure it applies to everything that has any. I mean, milk is just a good example because it is really fat and nutrient rich. Um, but I'm sure it applies to a lesser extent to things like almond milk, or even like yogurt, which has probiotics in it usually for your stomach. Uh, like probably even with the boosted metabolic like rates and stuff, like probably you still get some pause and slowing from the actual intake itself, uh and your body wanting to absorb those things. And again, I'm not a dietitian myself. This is my collective understanding of reading lots of science papers. So uh please do not assume that I am an expert, because I'm not. But I do try not to spread misinformation. So for to the best of my knowledge, that is how all of that works. Um and I do read a lot. So take that how you will. And I think we're pretty much done with this cute little drawing. I don't know exact. I feel like maybe it's missing something, but I don't know what it would be, and I kind of feel like it's a lot already. I don't want to crowd it or anything, putting something goofy in here. So maybe I'll just say it's done because it is very cute. Um, yeah, thank you. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I really like milk, but I also grew up with a lot of cow's milk that was really fresh and really good. And like I grew up in a rural area that had cows and cow farming available uh for just like people. And so I did get to have some like fresh milk from cows that was really yummy, and probably did help me gain a lot of weight as a kid. And yeah, but I do really like milk, and I get to be one of those lucky people that doesn't have any lactose intolerance as far as me or my doctors are aware. So, I can drink as much milk as I want as long as I'm, being responsible about the fact that it's milk. Um, Thank you. Thank you. I also think I'm lucky for that one. Apparently it's more it's more common in people with skin pigments to be able to drink milk as adults. So my melanin won me a point on that one. Um and also apparently it's more common in AFAB people. People born people born as women, like genetically. It's more common for AFAB people to be able to drink milk into adulthood. So yeah, nah. I really like cheese. I think we don't get as wide of a variety in the US as I'm sure you're aware, and also our variety is not as high quality as cheese elsewhere. But there's a brand named Kerrygold that sells this Irish cheese called Dubliner, and that is like my favorite cheese ever. I love that stuff. It's like a really soft white cheese. I use it on sandwiches and all sorts of stuff. Love Dubliner cheese. Um, if you live in the US and you want a cheese that is like reasonable adjacent price, like mid-range pricing, you don't want to spend $20 on a little wedge of cheese about that big, um like it Dubliner's a good buy. Like really yellow, I don't know, I wouldn't have like a percentage or anything, but I would doubt that we have, like, pretty much all of our cheddar is really yellow, like pretty much all of it. um like I think probably a lot of our cheese is really yellow. Probably a lot of our cheese is either really, really yellow or attempting to be colorless. There's very little like faint colored cheese. Um, yeah, I would say probably more than half of it is probably really yellow, but I also I don't like, yeah, I don't know what I would just yeah. The left cat has some little chin acne because yeah, cats can get chin acne. Yeah, yeah, it's weird, like, cuz it's like it's not even like they're trying to be white, it's like they're trying to be clear, but they're just white because they can't be clear. Yeah, the poor guy. Uh the cuz cats will get acne because they'll get like the way that blackheads will clog your pores, they'll get like that on their chin, and then it will like basically build like a little scab over their pore. It's so sad. It's from being little dust goblins. And my one cat is a little dust goblin, and he will not let me fix his chin. Uh, yeah. Let's see. What should their names be? So we have our cat who is uh currently doing good on his New Year's resolution, and he's eating healthy. And then his friend who was supposed to go to the gym before they met up and instead just showed up and drank a milkshake in his workout gear. So what should we call acting healthy kitty? Hmm, should we give them like people names or should we give them like cat names? Let's think. What should acne kitty be called? Uh that's too good. Okay. Yeah. I okay, so the cat that wants to eat healthy is called Cupcake. That's perfect. I love it. Okay, so we'll have Cupcake. And then what should we call our cat that is supposed to be going to the gym and instead came to get milkshakes? He's wearing all his workout gear. He showed up like nothing happened. His friend is clearly upset cuz he can tell that this cat did not go to the gym. He knows he didn't go to the gym. They made resolutions together. Now he's mad. Yeah, Jimbro cat name. What would be like a Jimbro cat name? Um, hmm. Cupcake and see all the Jimbro names I can think of are like people names. Like they wouldn't make good cat names. Uh, hmm. What if we name him Broccoli? What if we name him Broccoli? Brock for short. What if we name him Broccoli? Cupcake and Broccoli. How do you spell broccoli? Kale. Oh my god, wait, kale is so much better. Okay, I'm stealing it. It's kale. It's cupcake and kale. That's so good. Cupcake and kale. Cupcake is trying really hard. You are. You're so helpful. Thank you. You should name all of the cats. If you guys want to go back and find old unnamed cats and send me names for them, that I would love that. That would be adorable. We could make a game out of it. Or maybe I'll make a game out of it if I remember. But yeah, Kale does look a little bit like a raccoon. Um, but that's okay because he's being a little bit of a rat. He didn't go to the gym. He was supposed to go to the gym. Cupcake knows he didn't go to the gym. Yeah, like a raccoon. Duh. I actually love raccoons, like unironically, guys. I know that they're gross little like parasite carrying rodents. Like I get it. I love them anyway. I love them so much. I love raccoons. Raccoons can eat my trash any day. There aren't any here, but if there were, they could eat my trash any day. I think we have like gophers, but they're less cute. They they'll eat like wood beams and stuff, which is less fun. Yeah, I have seen one, but not here. Um, Other places that I've lived. They're so cute. They're so cute. And possums. Possums are so cute. Oh, they're so cute, guys. They're so cute. I love them. I love them so much. I would have a raccoon as a pet if it wasn't illegal. Actually, is it illegal? Maybe it's not illegal anymore. I know it was where I lived before at the time when I lived there. But I have not checked any time recently, and the time that they were illegal where I was kind of specific things. So, uh, maybe. Maybe I could have a raccoon as a pet. My cats probably wouldn't like that. And raccoons are way smarter than my cats. Like, I think I'm having problems with my baby gates and stuff right now. Like, raccoons, you are not keeping the raccoons out of the cupboards. They are getting into the cupboards. You are going to have to find, like, human, like locks with keys on them for their food. Yeah, they have thumbs. Yeah, keeping a raccoon is a as a pet is gonna be a trip because they have thumbs. Imagine having a pet with thumbs. You're on a dangerous road there. To having your house be invaded by other raccoons that your raccoon met at a party last week. It's crazy. Raccoons are so smart. I love animals so much, guys. I hope you guys really I'm so glad you guys liked these cats and you guys like animals, and I think I'm gonna probably start wrapping up here because these did come out super cute, and I think I'm pretty much done with them, and now they have some cute little names, and I'm gonna center them in the frame here real good so you guys can see them uh when I put you on the stream ending screen here in a few minutes, because I'm gonna start signing off and tell you guys that I appreciate you so much and thank you so much for coming and hanging out and chatting with me today. There's so many people in here. Uh yeah, little Jim Broccoli, uh and little Cupcake, who is doing his best to eat healthier. Uh So I hope you guys liked them as much as I thought that they were fun to draw. And the other little guys that didn't get cute little names, but were also very cute that we drew before. Thanks for showing up for that and for hanging out and for chatting. It's been a good time. And if you guys missed some of that and you want to catch up on it, this is going to go up here on my channel after this. And if you want to watch any of the other ones that I did before this, or just watch some other cute little cats, hang out with some cute little other vibes, or whatever the heck else, all of these go up on my YouTube, and you're welcome to come watch all of that there. I have a big old playlist. You can stream hours and hours of cats if you want, or whatever else I end up drawing. If you want to check out some of my other art stuff, I have little shorts on YouTube, and I also have a bunch of my individual pieces up on Reddit, mostly as sketch daily comments. And if you guys want to go check out any of that stuff, it's all linked in my card, in my bio, in my little link tree, and you are welcome to check out any of that. If you want to support me more directly, there is a cute little store there with some stickers, and if you guys want to go and buy any of those, I appreciate so much the ones of you that have. That is so sweet, and I love seeing that you guys do that. um, and I will do my best to get more updated ones up there for you at some point. I am so sorry that that's not available yet. I know I say that all the time, and am, I swear, still trying, but just getting the motivation to do that one is hard for me. So I will get it up there eventually, hopefully, for you guys. And if you want to buy any of the ones that are there, go right ahead. If you want to just pass me some money for art supplies, or you want to request that I draw something on stream and you want to give me some incentive to do that or any of that, there are some cute little links for some stream tips or buy me coffee things. Uh, all of that is in the card together, if and it should all be linked and explained there if you want to go check any of that out. And any of the engagement that I get from you guys is super cool, so I appreciate all of you who are just showing up today, and anybody who talked in the chat and all of that, and the cute little follows. I appreciate all of you guys so much. It's been a really good stream, and I hope to see you guys all next week. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely couple of whoops. Have a lovely few days. Have a lovely holiday and whichever ones you're celebrating. Hope you guys had some great ones. Keep having a good one. And we will see you guys in the new year. Bye.